and welcome to the channel. And it's rather overcast day, which is fairly typical for England in February. In this video we're going to be talking about which rose is King Charles's
get on with it, idiot.
A bit rude favourite rose. Now, a point of order first. Here at the Walking Talking Gardeners channel, we primarily do plants, horticulture, gardening, and occasionally the odd tortoise video because that's what Lorna likes. It is not a place for either pro-royalist or anti-royalist comments, so I ask you to refrain from putting that into the comment section. There are plenty of other channels out there where that is acceptable. This one we don't do one way or the other. We try and keep all politics, any kind of inflammatory debate away from the comment section because that's just how I like it to be. So moving forwards, Highgrove Gardens, which is King Charles's private garden, which has plenty of roses in it. That is a notable garden here in the UK, and as such it is of interest to people like myself who have a passion for plants, horticulture, gardening, blah blah blah. So with that in mind, we shall carry on with which is King Charles's most favouriteest of all the roses, rose. Now, you might be saying, Simon, it's pretty obvious which rose is King Charles's favourite rose, formerly Prince Charles. It's the famous rose Prince Charles, and I understand it has the same title, but who would be egotistical enough to say that their favourite rose is the very one that has got the very same name and title as they do? People just don't do that, not in England anyway. So, I'll tell you which one is King Charles's favourite rose. Is this one here. Inside this box is the King Charles Coronation Rose. That's his favourite rose. I know what I said earlier, we can just ignore that. So inside here is a bare root rose. It's not containerised, it's not got an established root system. So what we'll do, I'll get my blades out, stick this on the table, we'll open it up, see what we've got, and then I'll explain to you how to look after, plant up a bare root rose. So let's get on with it. Let's do that thing. Right, okay, let's make a start on this. Right. So, here we go. Gently pour that out. Now, if you are finding the information in this video useful or perhaps just mildly amusing and you'd like to pass it on, then by all means press the like button. It supports this channel immensely and helps us do what we do. Don't forget, you can also click onto the subscription button. Subscription is absolutely free and you can unsubscribe at any time. It doesn't cost you anything, and if you want to be notified whenever we publish a new video, then all you need to do is click on that notification bell. Anyway, let's continue to find out what old Boilbelt has to say. So here we go. It's not looking too bad. We have got a bit of early bud growth here. Can you see that? Okay, you can do. Which is a slight worry because if I've got bud growth up here, then there's a possibility I've got root growth down here. I don't really want to see that. And look, it does have the right label on it at the very least. They've wrapped this in some cling film, which isn't a bad idea because the whole point of this in transit is to try and stop the roots from drying out. So hopefully being a plastic cover that will stop that from drying and travel as you can. If you get a big build up of moisture in here, you can open yourself up to a risk of infection. But let's have a little look. You haven't up yet? You know, that's good. Right, a decent bit of root here has been cut off at the base. There's no new regrowth yet, which is hopefully what you'd want because it is it's still winter really in February. I mean, it's not long before March turns up and spring begins, but yeah, and this is great. This means that I can mess about with these roots a wee bit without worrying about damaging the new roots that come off, because the root hairs that come off here, that's just a single cell, and if you're moving roots around with the root hairs emerging, those will break and then the plant can't then use those root hairs to take in moisture and nutrition, because that's the only part of the root that does that. So this is fine, this is in good condition. We can get this in a pot or in the ground, and let's get on with that. For now, because I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put this yet, I'm going to put this in a pot. So let's get that job sorted now. You don't want to leave these, you really don't want to leave these hanging around, and the last thing you want is for this plant to dry out before it's producing new roots. So it needs to be kept in the cool. We need to pot it on basically as soon as these arrive and I'm out the box and planted. So as I said earlier, and with the help of my lovely wife Lorna,
Hello.
feel free to ask any pertinent questions, or any questions really.
I thought you were going to say personal questions.
Personal questions.
How lovely is your wife?
Oh, it's very lovely. I said a long tom. Now this isn't a true long tom, but it is a pot. Ignore that.
Good job that wasn't a tortoise falling off the table.
This is a pot that's fairly deep.
It is deep.
To accommodate the root system. Obviously, you can purchase a better one, and this is just going to be a temporary. I just want it established in the pot. Then I'm going to take it out and plant it somewhere. Once all the bulbs have come through, all the herbaceous has come through, then I can see what spaces I've got in the garden. So I don't want to plant it in right now because I might have to move it later, and I don't really want to do that. And just one thing, if you are planting your rose in the ground, always be aware of rose sickness. You cannot plant a new rose where you have taken out an old rose. Back in the day, the Victorians did not know what was causing this, so it was just generally called rose sickness, but nowadays we know that it is a microorganism. It is nematodes. You have these pest nematodes that attack the root system. So if you take a rose out that's been attacked by the nematode, you put a new rose in, the nematodes are still there, they'll just attack your new rose. So whenever you are planting a new rose, never plant it where your rose was. Anyway, to continue. So if this was going to be a lovely ornamental pot and a permanent display as such, then you would put some crocks in the bottom so that when you watered it, you don't get the leaching of soil out onto your lovely fancy patio. But because this is temporary, I'm not too worried about that, so we're just going to put in straight compost. Now, some things you need to be aware of.
Okay, let's have a look.
Where you have where this tea bud has taken, you have this, I'm going to call it the graft union, but it's not a grafted plant. You don't want soil around this because this can increase the infection at the union. So
we also stimulate the suckers to come off from the rootstock.
We'll get onto that in a minute. But
okay,
you can already see they have tea budded this quite low on the stem because you've got the you actually root at the same level or even higher than the resulting stems. Really, you would have a little gap there so you could plant. So we're going to be quite careful where we plant this. So the soil really is going to be about here.
Yeah.
And then, as Lorna said, any resulting growth from below the soil line will be from the rootstock and will not be this cultivar.
And that's how you get these sort of vigorous shoots that don't look anything like the rest of the rose, and they really need to be cut out.
Indeed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the compost to about 1.5 inches from the top of the pot, so that when I come to water it, I have like a reservoir fills up and those goes down.
Okay.
You do see so many people where they
fill it right up to the top.
Yes.
Why do they do that?
It's stupid.
It's because they're not horticulturalists.
And then you water it and it just rolls off the side.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. So you got 1.5 inches from the pot surface, and also it needs to be below that graft line. So that's just a little bit of a technical point which reduces the risk of infection getting into that. And that's with any grafted plant. You need to keep the soil line below where that graft is. So this, I know I'm always banging on about never disturb the root system, but because this root system is dormant and there's nothing happening, you are more than welcome to do this.
Oh my god.
The only time I'm going to allow you to do it.
What?
And you could separate the roots out. Of course, it's so stiff on this rose, that's not going to happen. So we just go in like
They're
this.
quite hardy, aren't they? When they're in this dormant stage, they're fine.
They are indeed.
They are fine. Right, you pick the compost off the floor.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know.
Now, this is currently
Yes.
I know also gone about how rubbish modern compost are. Now, this one is actually my favourite of all that I can find. It's the multi-purpose.
Not sponsored ad. Yes.
No, not sponsored. Mixed with the John Lennis. This seems to be the best
solution
at the moment.
Yeah.
Unless you can find something that's better, you can.
Unless you're making your own compost, leaf mould.
Well, you're going to need to have some sort of sterilisation system.
You are indeed.
because again, microorganisms, fungus,
Yeah.
spores, all the rest of it.
Right, let's watch the man in action.
Well, put a bit in the bottom.
Wow. Okay.
Right, so just getting that graft line right.
Okay.
So really, if I aim to have this graft line roughly at the top of the pot,
Okay.
that should be about right.
Have a look, everyone. What do we think? Let's judge him. We'll judge Simon. Yeah, it's not bad, honey. Not bad. You want to do this for a living?
Yeah, so it's an odd position to put the
Yeah.
original bud, but it is what it is.
Yep.
If I was tea butting, I'd have put the two bud higher
We
up.
were just saying how expensive roses are these days. It's shocking, isn't it?
Shocking.
Shocking. I mean, they're so expensive. Mind you, everything's expensive, but roses in particular.
They seem to have gone up far
Species
beyond
roses,
all other
they've gone.
plants.
Yeah, they've certainly rocketed.
Yeah, back in the day,
Yeah.
back last century,
Yes.
your typical rose would be the same sort of price as all your rest of your shrubs.
Your shrubs.
But they kind of doubled the
£8 or
price now.
£9. They're about nearly £30 now.
Are roses a premium product
No,
compared to other plants?
no.
I don't think so.
I don't think they're. They stick them in a nursery, bud them along, and they can produce them quite quickly. Not like bonsais. Look at this. It's doing well, everyone. Look at that.
Yeah, it's very low
And
down.
what
That
rose
bud.
is this, honey?
This is Rosa King Charles Coronation.
Ooh, and what colour is that?
It's pink,
Oh, what kind of pink?
light pink.
Oh, the worst kind of pink.
West.
There's
Pink
worse.
colours.
Why? I suppose it is King Charles, and you're feeling patriotic.
Yeah, it's a lovely plant. It's a lovely flower.
Okay. All right. Is it a double, single,
Double.
double? Okay. Is it scented? Oh, you don't know nothing.
That I don't know.
I don't know. I'd hope so.
I think we're kind of there.
All right. Looks fabulous. You can give it a bit of a water.
Yeah, on a nursery,
Yeah.
this would just go out into the
Yeah.
nursery beds. Now you could put this in a unheated greenhouse to sort of bring it along a bit faster, but then you're going to have to harden it off once you take it out the greenhouse. So this will just go under my tree. Go
Okay.
under my tree, and
There you
we'll water
go.
that in.
Perfect.
Now it's quite cold today, but it is warming up by the end
It
of
is
the week.
cold today.
And as soon as those temperatures start to rise,
Yeah.
we'll start getting the new growth.
Amazing.
So, and as soon as that new growth on the roots appears, these buds are going to take really quickly. So give it a couple of weeks and it's going to be a different looking plant. So there you go. Any questions, Lorna?
How long before I see my first double pink flower?
It will be this year. You've got
Summer?
June, July.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's and next year that'll be earlier. There's be a delay this year because it's got to establish that root
Of
system
course.
first.
Of course.
I
But
know.
it looks fabulous. I shall look forward to that.
Well, so do I. I just hope it's as nice as it looks in the picture.
Excellent.
Now, that may well be King Charles's favourite rose, and be honest with you, I really quite like it, which is why I've purchased it. Even though you know full well I do not like pink, and that I do not like roses as a rule anyway, because I don't like getting infected fingers from the thorns. However, that has a particularly lovely bloom shape, and those petals, they kind of got that lovely kind of unusual, very unusual sort of like frilled edge. So much so that, at least in my mind, it does look very much like a peony, and peonies, as you know, they don't have a particularly long flowering period, and roses, they do. So I purchased this one simply because it will give me the effect of a peony all throughout the growing season, because it's a floribunda rose, so as long as I keep deadheading it, I will get hopefully some second bloom, so I'm going to have a much longer lasting effect from that. So I do quite like it, which is why I actually spent my own money on it. But you know what, King Charles is garden at Highgrove, his private garden, he has many roses there, all of which that he really enjoys. So what I'll do a list of all the roses here that King Charles does grow at Highgrove. So it's not just the King Charles coronation rose, it's all these roses here that he also likes. I'll leave that on the screen for a bit so you can have a little peruse through, write them down, screenshot it, do whatever it is you want to do. And I just thought that was a very interesting little insight into what King Charles likes, what he grows in his garden. And if you're a big fan of roses, then there's some extra information for you to look at. Anyway, thank you for watching. If there's anything you'd like to add, not regarding what I said earlier, then put it in the comments. You know, which roses you prefer. Do you not like roses? How do you treat your bare root roses? When do you like to buy them? Because let's be honest with you, bare root roses are the least expensive way to purchase roses, especially these fancy varieties with the breeder's rights on them, because let's be honest with you, they are quite pricey. Anyway, thank you for watching this far. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. Right, now, just before you go, if you want to see more content, more behind the scenes stuff, and images that I've taken of some weird freaky plants over the years, then you're in luck, because we've created an Instagram page. So you can find the link in our description, you can find the link on our main page, and if I'm clever enough, I might be able to get a link somewhere up there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you want to see more YouTube stuff, then check out this video here. That's quite a good one. And if it doesn't float your boat, then another one right there. And enjoy these while I've still got the strength, imagination and aptitude to make them. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.